everybody. This is Chris here with Ian.
Hey, people. What's going on?
I'm interrupting his dinner.
Yeah, I got a hot steaming plate of food right here.
This is actually after the show, which is ironic because this is actually going to be on at the beginning of the show, but we are recording this after we recorded the show because shortly after, minutes after we got done doing this week's Jagged Edge, I had noticed, not even within an hour, or within an hour after that, at the Star Trek convention in Las Vegas, big announcements. Now they had made an announcement at San Diego Comic-Con that a new TV show was coming, which I missed. I did not see that.
Right.
And at the Star Trek convention today, just a couple hours ago, they announced that the new show is going to be based in what I think the vast majority of what everyone's wanted. They're going back to the Next Generation continuity. They are going to continue the story that everybody's wanted, and they're going to go into the next chapter with Jean-Luc Picard.
They finally listened. They listened, and look, this is a really big deal. Even if you had a passing interest in Star Trek, especially during the mid-early 90s, this was one that was just even always in your radar some way or another. And the amount of characters that are just interesting in this specific continuity of Star Trek, this is awesome. Q is the one that jumps out at me most. I love the interplay between him and Picard, and does help that Picard is my favorite captain of all times when it comes to Star Trek. Now, as soon as you texted me about this, it's funny, I immediately sent a message. I sent a message to my mom because she was she's the main one who got me into Next Generation back when I was in second, third grade or something like that. And I told her, you need to go look at this, and she freaked out. She's like, "Are you kidding me? Just tell me when I can watch this." So,
well, no, and I think that's an appropriate reaction because for so long people have been saying that this is what you should be doing. This is what we'd like you to do. This is what we'd like to see. And no. And I mean, it was even more frustrating when, they made Nemesis, which is the last time we've seen this. Right. Last time we've seen this continuity. Last time we've seen Picard. Way back in early 2000s. I think it was, you want to look that up, what date that came out real quick?
Star Trek Nemesis, right?
Yeah, Nemesis. Yeah. That was the last one for the Next Generation crew. It's been a long time. And they've been doing they rebooted the series, and that was fine, and that was fun, but at the same time, it's not what a lot of people wanted. It didn't quite have the Star Trek feel. Some people debate that, but, almost universally, everyone has said, let's go back to this.
December 2002.
Yeah, a long time ago. 16 years. Wow. Almost 17 years.
Wow.
And, and we left these people in a very precarious position. At the end of that movie, the latest Enterprise had been used as a battering ram.
Right.
Data had been killed, but maybe his information was in that other android, right? That other Data-like android. Riker and Deanna Troi had just gotten married. He had just gotten his own captainship, which we hadn't even seen.
Nope.
And some time has passed, and I mean, but I started thinking about that. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is more than just an announcement about this show. I mean, we get to find out what's happened here.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
There's been some books, but just like Star Wars, these books come out and they're assumed to be canon, and maybe even people in production accept them as such. But no, we're really going to see what's happened. Not just with that crew, though, but with the Voyager crew, with the Deep Space Nine crew. I'm sure they'll all make appearances.
It's cool on so many levels, man. It's funny, right. As you were rattling that off, I forgot... at least I thought I had forgotten a lot of those points about Nemesis or the last movie we'd seen. But as you were saying, I'm nodding my head. I'm like, yep, and that it sticks with you.
I told you that when we were done shooting this or done recording this, you were going to be happy that we did this.
Yeah, no, and I am. It's...
But I mean, the biggest question in my mind is will Picard have, or even after all these years, will he have followed Kirk's famous words to him, which is, don't let them take you out of the captain's chair.
Yeah.
Don't let them retire you. And which was a huge regret that he had. And
right.
He went out to be an admiral and he hated it. Is he still the captain of the Enterprise?
Right. Ah,
so many things, and the answers to this we have none. We have no answers. The only thing that was announced is of the existence of the show. They don't even have scripts done yet. It's going to follow Jean-Luc Picard. It's going to follow what he's done since we last saw him. That's it. That's all we got.
And frankly, that's all I need, man. I am there. Look, I've had my reservations about the newest Star Trek series and stuff like that. You know, we frame that if we wanted to actually review it. I will say this right now. Whenever this hits, when we know what this is, whatever year, mark it. I will review it.
And it's going to be on CBS All Access. It's going to be joining Discovery.
I don't care what I got to watch. If it was on Netflix 8.0, I will watch this. Absolutely. I don't care.
Will you go through an hour of Cloak and Dagger first and then watch
Can I just skip the Cloak and Dagger part? I mean,
no, you have to watch both.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll just blindfold the first part.
The nostalgia is going to be heavy on this, I'm sure. I hope they do this right. A lot of this at this point is going to come down to the production. They're bringing Sir Patrick Stewart in, obviously. So now let's start bringing in the rest of the people who were behind the Next Generation. Let's just nostalgia the shit out of this.
Yeah, I mean, if they break out Jonathan Frakes, reprising his Riker. I even wonder. Right. The one I can't remember. What became of Guinan? How did Whoopi Goldberg leave the crew?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what that was tied to.
There wasn't really. See, that was the thing about Nemesis. There really wasn't an ending for anybody.
No.
Just Data. And nobody liked that ending.
No, I did. No, they didn't.
Yeah, but this is nuts.
No, it's probably some of the coolest. This is the coolest news I've heard from Star Trek in years. So,
right,
man, good catch, man, good catch. Well worth it.
Yeah. So at this point, we're just gonna go back into the show as normal and enjoy that. I make fun of a lot of stuff.
This is. Can we call this Grumpy Pants Day?
It definitely was some of that.
Okay.
I'm not Grumpy Pants anymore.
No.
No, this is great. I mean, this for you were a bit younger. I mean, this was my teenage years. It was in syndication. I was living with my father on a farm for years, so I actually got to watch this, even though we had like 4 TV stations.
Oh my gosh!
So yeah, that's how old I am. I am certainly dating myself here. Yeah, no, it's very exciting. I'm sure we're not going to see anything for at least a year. And you know what? Take your time.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Take your time. Do what you're going to do. They also said something else about other animations and miniseries coming, but nothing specific.
Wow.
But yeah, there it is. We're getting them back. We're gonna go where the movies left off. And we're gonna see this world again.
If there's one thing I'll respect about him, this is as far as I'm concerned, Patrick Stewart is 2 for 2 for wrapping up characters he's been known for. Him as Xavier. He fit that part so well, and I think he concluded it so well in Logan. So if he, returns to give us somewhat more of an ending or somewhat more of a close here, I'm really, really pleased with that. So
yeah. All right, there it is. So we're gonna go into the show, and this guy's gonna be able to finish his meal.
See you soon.
Next time though, there's news like this. You do what I did and finish your meal, and then you call me and interrupt my meal.
I owe you one. You put 1 point in the board now. I'll get you back.
All right.
Hello, people. Welcome back to another episode of the Jagged Edge. Should I say Jagged Edge Evo Edition? Our episode 69. This is Ian here, along with Chris.
Oh, you took away my joke. All right.
Well, I just said the number.
I was gonna make sure you said which episode it was. That's right. That's the best number in the world. The Evo edition, huh?
Yeah. It crept up on me, man. This is like the second year running I've done this. I kept thinking it was gonna be next weekend, and then I looked, yesterday. It was like early afternoon. I said, "Wait a minute, there's something going on with, like Twitch streams," and I'm like, "Holy crap, Evo! How did I miss this? How did I do?"
I was going to say, in years past in podcasts, you have canceled our shows.
Yes,
for Evo.
In fact, I'm watching Evo right now as we talk. That should
oh, great.
That should tell you how important this is. Look, there are 7+ streams going for this over the weekend, and this is my proverbial Super Bowl, man. I mean, look, I can make a little bit of flex room on like about this time, Saturday or maybe like mid Friday, because there's still pools. You're not in the middle of the finals. Usually, it's towards the night. You want to hit the semifinals or finals for the smaller tournaments, but Sunday. Don't talk to me Sunday. You won't find me Sunday. Sunday is grand finals day, and that's it.
This guy, it's Ryu versus Ken, the same thing you've seen for 25 years. I can dig it.
Yeah.
Especially I used to compete fairly heavily in fighting games back in the day, but. When it wasn't even that big. No, I understand, and if I allowed myself to get into it, I'd probably be nuts about it as well.
I'm surprised you don't particularly watch for Injustice, if that alone.
Yeah, I don't have time.
Yeah, I get
guy. I would be doing my life injustice. I'm working like 10 jobs.
No, I hear you, dude. I hear you. But hey, yeah, look, more stuff in gaming, more stuff in Evo a bit later. We still got a lot that's been happening this week. There's a couple of trailers that have come out. There's some stuff happening in the movie world. We want to get to all of that. And right at the top of our list with trailers, that's the Venom trailer. We got a brand new extended trailer here that we've seen, and I think this is as full a look as we're going to get to the movie's out.
Well, and they did finally reveal something too about the Venom costume, I guess, or whatever. No Spider-Man logo, which is pretty much or Spider-Man-esque logo, I should say.
Right.
Which was to be figured, and this new trailer.
Yeah.
What'd you think? You're the bigger Venom fan out of the two of us.
Here's the biggest thing I appreciate coming out of this trailer. A really fun thing about Venom over the years, and just seeing his comic appearances and stuff, wasn't always just his framing as an archenemy Spider-Man or a really challenging villain. It was his twisted sense of justice and his methodology behind it. And the way he'd kind of walk through this stuff, and the way he kind of purposely slow walk villains, and then either kill them or do something horrible or something
or
like
eat them,
or eat them.
Or eat them.
Which is what we have here. We had a couple scenes that were referenced here. I know the one in the like the gas station supermarket or whatever, and then the other where he's like out in the street. But that is absolutely Venom. He takes those moments to just really mess with whoever he's after or whoever he's stalking. Sometimes that ends in nothing. He just scares the living daylights as somebody leaves it at that, saying, you better not ever do this again, or I'm going to revisit you. Other times, it ends really bad, and like you said, he'll just eat somebody, or maybe bite their head off, or something convenient like that.
There is apparently Venom eating in this movie too. I've heard that there are a couple instances of Venom eating people. I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I think. From what we're seeing, things definitely look a lot better. The Venom looks a lot more polished.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the Spider-Man logo on him, but he's kind of got like the white veins going and stuff like that. And that's kind of, I think there's a little bit more polish to be done, but it looks a lot better. It looks like they're getting the character down.
Yeah.
It's the content besides that still worries me. This still looks very overproduced. The environments just don't look right for what I was told this Spider-Man villain universe was going to be.
Right.
It's been a complaint I've had since the first trailer, the little teaser that they came out with. I hope I'm wrong, because there are some instances where it looks like, okay, they're going for a very grounded, realistic look in some instances, but then the rest of the time it's like, oh man, this looks like right out of a production studio, which it is.
Right.
So we got our first look at Riot, and Riot looks cool.
Yep.
We got some other chick who's got some kind of symbiote abilities going or something like that, and she's throwing stuff. And this really didn't change my opinion on anything.
Yeah.
Although I will to agree with you again. We are getting more of Venom at this point, and I think they've got that down.
Yeah.
So is that enough though?
That's the question, and I think that leads to it. You rightfully made that distinction about the world at large. You know, when I used to read about Venom or the stuff we got from his perspective, some of the fun in that was how he reacted to his surrounding world. It wasn't just him; it's the fact that you get his perspective, you're in his head, but you're in his head seeing him react to all those things. And so to do that, you got to have a really engaging, fun world. It just so happened with Spidey and everything around, that wasn't too hard to do.
No.
Here, this is a completely different story, and I'm actually with you on that. It's the surrounding world and everything else that the way all this is set up. That's I question right now.
Yeah.
That's just seeming a little bit bland, and that could cause trouble for the thing we like so much. That is Venom's character and how he's working all this out. So.
We'll find out in October.
No, we will. But definitely step up in terms of the trailer and all that, and we'll be there. Lock, stock,
2 months.
See it. 2 months.
2 months. Jeez. I'd like to say the year went by quickly, but it didn't. But at the same time, wow, 2 months away.
Yeah. It's in some ways it did, in some ways it didn't. But
no, it didn't. It didn't. Not for me. It's been very slow.
Crept on by. It's been stop and go for me, man. I felt the earlier months just, I don't even know where they went, but then something happened, a couple in, midway through just slowed down a bit.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Speaking of slowing down,
yeah,
there's your segue.
I love it. There's that transition I look for. We're slowing way down with an Ocean's 11 style heist film, elderly edition, kind of. No, that's not really what this is called. I'm looking at King of Thieves. This is starring Michael Caine, being a very bad Alfred here. Also, some of his co-stars, one of them, Jim Broadbent. It's a pretty starred cast in terms of people who've either received nominations and things like that in the past. But anyway, it's a gold heist film. This was totally off our radar. This was off my personal radar too. I just happened to see it in passing, and I always say, "Oh, Michael Caine, cool." But no, hey, this is due out September 14th. There's a trailer you got to check out for this one, and hey, looks fun. Look, I liked Ocean's 11. Those movies following those Clooney and Brad Pitt and stuff. I mean, this seems as a formula really, really similar to that, but based in the UK. It seems based around some parts of a story that at least happened at some point. I didn't fully delve into all of that, but just going by what I've seen so far. So, how'd you react to this one, Chris?
I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then I said, hey, do you want to throw this on a list of movies that we're going to review? We're constantly updating that list.
Yep.
And then I saw it comes out the same day as The Predator.
Yeah.
And it's, all right, well, this movie's going to bomb.
Yeah.
Well, and they're both going to bomb.
Yeah.
Because The Predator is probably not going to be very good, but everyone's going to go see that.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like fun. I will definitely see it at some point.
Right.
I don't know if I will see it in the theaters though.
Fair enough.
It was kind of it's like you say, Michael Caine, and then a whole bunch of older gentlemen who you've seen in films for decades, and when you see trailers, like, oh, I've seen that guy.
Yeah.
I've seen that guy. That guy, he was in that thing, and then you just don't know any of their names.
Yeah.
And it's it looks like fun though. I definitely it's definitely a heist movie with an angle of it's got a bit of a comedy to it with the interaction of these older gentlemen doing this thing and how they interact with each other. There's obviously a lot of history between them.
Right.
It looks like fun though. What's it called?
King of Thieves.
King of Thieves. There you go. There it is. Go see The Predator. You're gonna see The Predator.
Yeah, I know. I am. Of course. There's no mixed message about that. It's just what's gonna happen. So.
That's a shame. That's dumb. Especially in I'm sorry, I'm gonna rant.
Yeah.
Especially in September. I mean, come on. There's not. I mean, there's a pretty big drop off at this point. There's not a lot more movies coming out until like you get into October, November, and well, you're gonna pick the same day as the Predator? Really? All right.
What's the best day we could? Yeah, never mind. So
yeah, that's just not smart.
Well,
but whatever.
I wonder what could be smartly written, but probably I don't know. It's going to be hard for this one to get off the wheels too well, man. Kraven, the Kraven movie. A couple updates.
Kraven the Hunter.
Kraven the Hunter. A couple of updates on this. It looks like that this is going to get the treatment from the writer of Equalizer 2. This was a report from Collider that Richard Wenk will be putting together the script for Kraven the Hunter. Bear in mind, this is going to be still part of Sony's still expanding super villain, or I say super villain, Spider-Man villain franchise that they're running.
Well,
so
same thing.
rumors of this have been around since like 2017.
Yeah, well, I remember this came out. There was like a whole list of all these movies that they were thinking about making from, basically it was a list of Spider-Man's rogue gallery. Like, oh, we'll do this and this and this and this and this. So, I mean, when Kraven the Hunter came up, you're like, really?
Yeah.
Really? You're gonna do that one? All right. Kind of ironic because I actually heard this week, I don't have it confirmed, that Silver and Black has been canceled.
Ouch.
Yeah, I'd like to know why. That was one of the first ones I think they introduced. And when they were talking about this, they were talking about Venom, and they were talking about Silver and Black. And, and then I guess they were talking about a bunch of other ones too, but, not really. But yeah, those were the two that people really had their eye on. But I'm hearing Silver and Black's not happening anymore. But we're getting Kraven the Hunter. Who's he hunting? He's not hunting Spider-Man.
No. Like you were saying earlier, man, one of the biggest worries about this one is, Kraven at best has sort of been like sub-support. It's really difficult to see a full story based around him. I mean, cool power set and all that, potentially, depending what they do with his background treatment, that could potentially be cool too, but on his own, I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a heavy lift.
Yeah.
Good luck with it.
Yeah.
That's, all right. We'll take out Silver and Black, but we'll put in Kraven, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not smart.
Well, as for a more well-known superhero, though, well, it's not even a superhero, he's just a really awesome rich hero. This is about Batman, and Matt Reeves actually spoke out a little bit about the upcoming Batman movie. This was a Television Critics Association panel that was on Thursday. This was from Batman director Matt Reeves. Now, he had this quote to say about the project and some rumors that have been flying all around about it. All right, here we go. He said, "We're not doing any particular comic. Year One is one of the many comic books that I love. We are definitely not doing Year One. It's just exciting to be focused very specifically on a tale that's defining for him and very personal to him. Obviously, we're not doing an origin tale or anything like that. We're doing a story that is definitely Batman, though, and trying to tell a story that's emotional and yet is really about him being the world's greatest detective and all the things that, for me, since I was a kid, made me love Batman. I've talked about making a very point-of-view, noir-driven, definitive Batman story in which he is investigating a particular case, and that takes us out into the world of Gotham, rather. Now, I can't read. I went on a deep dive revisiting all my favorite comics, those all informed by osmosis. There's no continuation of the Nolan film. It's very much trying to find a way to do something that, for me, is going to be definitively Batman, new and cool."
He also said at some point during this thing that the script should be done here in the next few weeks, but that sounds like a whole lot of nothing.
I mean, I'm going through this a lot. I'm like, first paragraph, I'm like, that's usually where most would stop with that. Just like a kind of rough general direction, but that really doesn't tell us much.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still it's been over a year now since all this garbage and with this Batman movie, and it's just like
hearing that to me says, I'm just speaking from Reed's perspective. I have a certain vision perspective I want to show. I have a new cut on Batman that's different from Nolan. Okay, it's been shown that can work. Nolan did it. Heck, you just walk down the line. We've had all kinds of flavors of Batman from really super colorful. I'm looking back to Mr. Freeze and Alicia, George Clooney, Alicia Silverstone.
That was so bad. That was so bad. That's your favorite, isn't it?
Oh, it's the best. Just everybody.
I was reading a bunch of stuff about that too. What was that? Did you just quote Mr. Freeze?
Yeah, I did. Something like that. I can't remember the exact line. It's the best I can do. It was fun in a goofy way, but no, dude. Nolan, hands down, I think has the rendition of Batman that I just love.
So they take the best part of Batman v Superman, the part that makes you be able to stomach that movie, and No, I don't want to get into all this all again. I mean, how I love my rants, but I've been through this one a bunch. I just make a good movie. Yeah. You're already slated for 3, and as things recently came out, this may or may not be part of the worlds of DC,
right?
Or it might be part of the Joker origin world, and just do it right. Maybe it'll be its own trilogy again. I don't.
At this point, just close that book. Just open that book later.
This is like the MCU, and you're not sure what you're going to do with Iron Man, and that's like the same thing, and that's why everyone's so frustrated with it. Whether you like it or not, this is your number one guy. And yes, I know some people would say that Superman's the number one guy, but he's not. It's Batman. It's DC. It's Batman. This is where a lot of people cling on to this world, is through this character, and they set up so much cool stuff. This is like the best part of the worlds of DC, and maybe this has something to do with it. Maybe it doesn't. Once again, I think Warner Brothers is completely underestimating the fan base for DC, be it casual to hardcore, and how they're going to react to whatever they're doing. And maybe it's going to be great. Maybe this whole thing will be an enlightening tale to take us through 3 movies leading into the current day for worlds of DC. I mean, what are they just not going to have Batman in any movies in the next 6-7 years? I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. I don't know. This is just do it right. Matt Reeves is a good director.
Yep.
He does good stuff. I just the only thing that has me concerned is the track record we've had up until this point. All right.
Yeah.
And just these quotes, it was a whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
It's the most important part is like I said, it said in the interview that they're about a few weeks away from being done with the script, which is good, but at the same time, scripts can change on a whim. So you don't have a lot.
No,
you don't have a lot here, and all right.
Oh, well, so
I so want to be excited about it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's still got some mileage to go, man. But hey, speaking of DC, I tell you what I'm excited about. I just had a clip here. Actually, it's more of a highlight. It looks like Poison Ivy took down Wonder Woman in Justice. It's hype, man.
What? Oh, an Injustice?
Yeah.
Yeah, that can't happen.
No, it can't.
No, how's that working in Injustice? I forget. How are they all kind of on level playing fields?
Here's the thing.
Isn't the armor that they're wearing or something, or aren't they infused with some kind of power or something like that?
I think you're right. I don't own it, but I know what you see in these stories. There's always something that enables you to see, okay, this is how this is happening, or like why you have these team ups or whatever else. They do a little something, but I gotta admit, the thing that made me laugh about Injustice when I first thought of it is just seeing a cutscene you like the stage break transition. Let's say you got Supergirl, and you send Harlequin, like you knock her through like 2 walls, and then she's like rolling through a train, and then goes out the side of that train, and then through another building. It's like, how are you still alive?
Right. Yeah. No, there is storyline stuff to it. If I remember correctly, I think it has something to do both with the armor, which is why some of them wear such heavily padded, unusual armor for some of their characters, and I think they are infused with some kind of ability as well that makes them durable and stronger and stuff.
Yeah, you'd need it for some of these trips.
Right. Otherwise, it's just Superman melting everyone.
Oh, man. Pretty much. But
Justice would be a very quick game.
It would. I couldn't help but laugh at it. I'm like, wait, how's this game even going to work? Superman's in it. But anyway, hey, I'm gonna keep going on with the DC track here, but I do want to pause and note one thing. We were saying last week that this was going to be Uncle Chris's story time for how Star Wars needs to be changed. More importantly, how Luke Skywalker needs to be brought back in Star Wars.
Right.
We're going to hold the phone on that. We're going to push that back one more week.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff here. Sorry. Uncle Chris's story time is waiting 1 more week.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Bear with us on that. If you were just waiting for that segment, well, there you go.
It's mainly because of Evo.
Whisper. Well, hey, and thanks, I appreciate it. Look, dude, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Top 8 is about to come on.
What was that a real sentence?
Yes.
What was that?
So, I think I've told you a little bit about Blaze Blue before, anime fighter, right?
No, I know, Sean. I didn't want you to elaborate.
Taking away my fun! Taking away my fun on the most hype weekend ever, man.
Okay.
Well, it's going to be a thing. It's happening soon. Anyway, I got that on the other monitor. I'm going to continue. I'm going to keep marching on here. Okay. The Flash is to begin shooting in February 2019. This is a report from Production Weekly that the Worlds of DC Flash movie is going to start filming. The working title for the movie is still Flashpoint. That brings back a lot of memories. Yeah. But it's being reported that they dropped the story for the film since the franchise has changed directions, and with the failures of Batman vs. Superman and Justice League, it's being said... oh, rough. It's being said to have a Back to the Future vibe for the whole story. Dang.
How many directors? Like, legitimately, we've joked about it, but didn't they go through like 4 directors and a couple different scripts for this?
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not Flashpoint. It's way too soon. It's way too soon. Even though some people's like, I can fix all the problems there. No, it's too soon. Back to the Future vibe. That sounds like fun. That sounds, Flash-like.
Yeah, sure. This is the guy that, if he's always got to hold himself back a bit. I mean, if he goes too fast, he'll cause a time warp anyway. Right. So,
Flashpoint's way too soon. This is, that's the Flash's story, even though it involves everyone else. It's, because it's a changing of the world and stuff. But that's the Flash's story, and this is his first movie.
Yeah.
It's too soon to do that. Yeah, it's just not going to have the impact. Not to mention the fact that just because of the greater Worlds of DC franchise and where it's at, it's just not going to have the impact that it should.
Right.
Doing Flashpoint, that's a huge waste of something epic that you could do years down the line if you get your shit together. So, I'm very much. I would like to see them do this. I think legitimately they've been through 4 directors, and I think this movie was supposed to come out this year.
Yeah,
I think it was supposed to be Flash and Aquaman this year.
Right.
So, if you could actually get this going, do it.
And look, Flash is really likable. We talked about this back when we were looking at Justice League. He was definitely one of the fun members of the cast there. As far as him being a solo movie, this could be really cool to watch. And way down the line, man. I mean, Flashpoint is even something I could accept in lieu, or even by not having Infinite Crisis. I think that'd be fine, assuming that DC had built itself up to, having an Infinity War style movie by that point, and is actually had enough foundation to stand on. But
right.
It's just still too much sand. So, All right. Well, there was a picture that, now you surprised me with this one because I didn't know any shots had come out.
Well, it's not a good shot.
It is not. That's the funny part too. There was a picture for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie that's coming up. There was a set photo got released, but can we even call this a full photo? Because technically it's chopped.
No, because I think it is a full photo. It's just not a good one.
Yeah, no, it's.
I think, yeah.
It's just got.
You have to tell me though, because actually I wasn't sure if I was going to put that on in the news this week, but from the reaction that I was reading from Sonic fans, a lot of them were like, "Oh my god!" So, is this big exciting stuff?
Not really.
No.
Now,
all right, let's just stop talking about it then.
Okay.
No.
You're like, all right, we're done. We can go on. The only thing I'll comment about Green Hill Zone and its importance to Sonic games is that is sort of the Genesis, yes, pun intended, Genesis-based stage / level when you're talking about Sonic. Like Green Hill Zone is where everything started. That's like Sonic 1, Stage 1. And so there's some nostalgia if you're talking to Sonic fans, Sega fans about this, and there's always a certain layout to the way the stage is done. But it always has a kind of similar look to it and sort of similar core styles even through the games that change and stuff. But it's just a bit of nostalgia, man. No, not anything really significant if you ask me. So
it's got me thinking about this though. Is this going to be a world like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where Sonic characters and characters like that, cartoonish, animal-based characters like Sonic and Knuckles and such, are they going to coincide in this world together, or is that
it's looking like it? But you see, here's the thing: Sonic games didn't start doing that until recent years. In the past, in older games, you only, as far as you knew, it was only anthropomorphic characters that inhabited that world. There was Sonic, Knuckles, two-tailed foxes, all kinds of weird stuff. But in the same hand, you'd be thinking, okay, well, that can't be. I mean, look, there's this Eggman guy running around inventing stuff enslaving animals. I'm assuming there's humans somewhere. But it's weird. As a kid, you just don't think about that. I mean, but the Sonic series always went out of its way to say, hey, this is the only human you're ever going to see. But just in recent games, more recent rather, like Sonic Unleashed and stuff, you actually see cities with people. So it's more of a distant thing, but apparently they're going to be side by side, which is weird to me. It's still weird. I don't know. So, I don't know, man. The Sonic series always had a weird little suspension of disbelief there. I kind of wish they'd just keep it.
Well, I mean, it is a a hedgehog running at Sonic speed, so he does fit his name. I'm gonna hold any kind of judgment yet, but I'm not thrilled.
Not sold.
Yeah, I'm just not.
I can't blame you. I'm not either. I'm a Sonic fan, so
yeah, I hope it's good though. Come on, it's the king. The king has been on the throne for 20-some years, and it's not even that great of a movie. so someone's got to dethrone Mortal Kombat. And I'm a Mortal Kombat fan, but come on, someone's got to knock that sucker off the throne. And why shouldn't it be Sonic the Hedgehog?
Right?
It won't.
Alas, probably have to wait a little longer.
It won't though.
Well. Hey, flipping over to the Marvel side, this is following some ongoing fallout we've been looking at since Comic-Con, and that is the firing of James Gunn that Disney went with based off of tweets from old tweets, his Twitter account. The big news about this, though, the Guardians of the Galaxy cast, they actually petitioned Disney to rehire him. Now, I can't help but smile here. I remember looking at your article from Verge, and it kind of had a shot of the whole cast. I just kind of get this image in my head of look, dude, let me just pause this a minute. How epic is that for the Guardians of the Galaxy to get together and speak for you? Look, regardless of the circumstances, I'm sorry, that's just cool. That says a lot. And even professionally, I think you're that closely tied to who you've worked with. So But yeah, look, this started with some really sort of cautious responses, kind of like some solo numbers. You heard a bit from Star-Lord, some quotes and some biblical quotes too. Batista, and then slowly, more and more came out. But here it is. It's got everybody's signature on it, and really, it's forward and frank. It's written to fans and friends saying that they fully support James Gunn. They're really shocked by the firing that happened. Talked a little bit about the great honor it's been to work with him, hoping he can return, but also hoping that everything that's gone down, what's transpired, can be an example that this stuff doesn't happen again. So really, in a way, not completely excusing it, announcing it, but wanting the guy back, wanting to work. So
it's a nice letter.
It is. It's well put together.
It's a very nice, well-written letter.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know, man. Because what I'm starting to hear though is that Disney's just they're stonewalling this thing.
Yeah.
They did it and it's done, and they're not even sweating it.
Nope.
In one way or the other. And I'm still torn about it. They got to make it, if they're going to bring him back, they got to make it right. And that is a heavy lift. And I appreciate MCU's philosophy, Marvel Studios, I should say. I appreciate their philosophy that no one person is bigger than the project.
Same.
And that has been there since the beginning, and it's worked for them. At the same time, you are talking about Disney, who tries to be a family company, and man, I don't know. I don't even know if I'd bet on this yet. Because at the same time, there could be some serious backlash from this.
Yes,
I don't know.
Yes, there could.
I'm just not sure where I sit on it yet. He's got to make it right. That's the whole thing. Is that if they're going to bring him back, they got to make it right. I'm not even totally sure how they do that.
Yeah.
So, but they sent him a letter, said, "Hey, look, this is it has been a pleasure to work with this guy. We've learned a lot from him. Yeah. He's not the person that he was. He apologized for those things." Now, this is something I didn't know, was that he'd actually apologized for those comments he made 10 years ago, even before his firing, and not even because of his firing. He had just, in years past, has apologized for them.
Right.
I was not aware of that, and I think that's important to add into the the bowl here, into the mix, is that it didn't take something like this for him to be remorseful for the words that he had said in the past. He already was.
Which is usually what you see about stuff like this when looking at the rear view. Oh, you got me. Now I'll say sorry.
Right. So that's important. I just don't know though. Yeah. It's tough. This will be interesting to watch and what happens from it, because while they all have strong feelings about this, Dave Bautista, for the most part, has been very boisterous about his feelings about this. And at the same time, Dave Bautista comes from a different background.
Yeah.
The wrestling background, I won't say that I know it well, but I have a family member that actually was a professional wrestler. And it's a very blue collarish kind of environment, so these kind of things are probably said in their locker room on a regular basis.
Right.
So he comes from a different background on it. I don't know. I just hope things don't get worse.
Yeah. Same here. It's just one of those storms that looks like it's resolved when it happens, but then you see it start to build up again. It could just all go flat, or it could spiral into something else entirely.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not the latter, but more to see.
We've not seen a lot of cracks in MCU's armor, but
we haven't.
I think we're looking at the biggest one so far.
Same. No, and well said, man. All right. Well, looking at Terminator 6, we got our first photo released by that from Paramount Pictures, and we got a female Terminator.
I actually don't think the Terminator's in there.
You don't?
No, I don't think the actual Terminator. No, the Terminator is, I forget the guy's name. He played Ghost Rider on Agents of Shield in season 4.
Okay.
I forget his name right now. But you definitely got a few people in there. Let me just say right off the bat, and I think should be about the first thing said about this picture. Linda Hamilton looks awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I believe she's pushing 60s right now.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And you compare her to the people we saw in King of Thieves, and you're like, what is she doing that they're not? Because clearly she is aging much better.
Way to go.
So, well, of course, that's a picture. It's been probably photoshopped a bit, and she's had time to work out and stuff. And
sure.
A lot of people are panning this. I don't know who the person is in the middle or the person on the left. Actually, to be honest with you, I don't know who they are. I don't really care.
Right.
The biggest thing for me was Linda Hamilton and how she was looking. And
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look like it's been over 25 years.
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
She does not, at least from this picture, is not skipping one beat and looks badass. And that is, Cameron is trying to make her the driving force behind this, and I think he's right for doing so.
Yeah.
No, she looks great. If you look around the characters there, which are obviously taking up the vast majority of your focus, it does look to be, at least from that picture, a post-apocalyptic world. Judgment Day appears to have happened.
Right.
And I don't know who those other two people are as far as where they fit in the movie, but I understand why a lot of people are probably panning it, because it looks very overproduced, and it looks very cliche.
Yeah.
One thing you have to remember is that Linda Hamilton, again, made that cliche as far as what the powerful woman looks like. She gets to look like whatever she wants.
Yep.
So, I guess I'm a little more excited for this. Robbie Reyes, he played the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider.
There you go. Okay.
Remember that.
Okay.
That's not the actor's name, though. I'm going to get that for you. I showed you some of that. You don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I showed you some of that stuff, though. So do you remember at least what the guy looked like?
I do.
Just remember? Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
What do you think?
I've never been a Terminator diehard, but hey, dude, who could forget, especially Terminator 2? That's the one that sticks in my mind to this day. Just, I think, scene by scene, and just what the whole Terminator franchise, is done, and I think how many things it's coined for action films and stuff like that. I'm more keen on this entry than the last one. Just for the sake of Linda Hamilton alone, that's freaking awesome. But my reaction just seeing this, hey, cool. I don't really see what there is to pan yet. When when you have a full synopsis.
If you follow that Twitter link, you see a lot of people are just
Gabriel
Luna is the actor's name.
Okay.
It could be fine. It's in James Cameron's hands now, so we'll see.
Yeah.
A lot of people act like he can do no wrong, and I don't think that's the case. But he put together two great freaking Terminator movies.
Yes,
the best two Terminator movies. Have you ever seen Terminator Salvation?
I did.
I don't understand. Look, it's not the best written movie. I understand that, but it gets a lot of flack, and I don't understand why. I honestly don't understand why they didn't continue the franchise, because that was supposed to kick off a trilogy.
Right.
I don't understand why they didn't continue on with that. It did well.
It did.
No, I remember why. That's right. The company who had the rights, they went out of business. That's right.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
Yeah, and then of course people get other ideas, and I understand there's some flaws in the writing for it, but I enjoy that movie. It is a strong third for me in the franchise, but
Cool.
it kind of bugs me how when people talk about the last three, they just talk like it's shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that Salvation was not shit. Salvation was fun. Good movie.
That was the one that was really that huge battle, and like Assault on Skynet and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one in the future. Oh, jeez. what's the character's name? The one who's the Salvation. Linda Hamilton's son.
John Connor.
Connor, yeah, that's it's John Connor, played by Batman. He's Batman. So it's kind of like fun. You're watching Batman and Terminator. No, but I thought that movie was a lot of fun though. I guess I don't know. I don't know why it gets panned the way it does. I guess people's like, what were you expecting? It's a Terminator movie, especially after the third Terminator movie, which was garbage.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, well, you're gonna watch it, and Genesis was shit, and so here we are again. The last two movies are supposed to kick off new franchises or new trilogies, and they didn't do it. So, but I think this is a step in the right direction. What we're looking at.
Right on, man.
Yeah, they are.
Well, I'm taking another step in the right direction towards Evo.
What's going on now? What's going on at Evo?
Again, still waiting for Blaze Blue to kick off. Watching some Street Fighter 5. It looks like we got Liquid Nemo is up.
What the hell is a Liquid Nemo?
It's from the Japanese teams playing SF5.
Is that a character?
No, this is. I'm looking at actually highlighting some of the player matches here. But no, there was a really good Birdie versus. Are you familiar with the Street Fighter cast a whole lot? Probably not.
I mean, not 5.
Okay.
No.
Birdie is actually back from like Street Fighter Alpha, but they finally brought him fully back to a Street Fighter mainline fighting game again. So, and then they got some characters from Third Strike in it too. There was a really good match between Udian and Birdie earlier. I sort of follow SF5 more from a distance.
Oh yeah, I know Birdie.
Yeah, the dude with the crazy mohawk and the gut.
Yeah.
And the chains. Yeah. But no, he's been getting some really good play and everything. But man, there's just matches left and right. It's crazy. About 7 streams. You can do a concurrent stream if you want to watch kind of everything that's going on too. But hey, this is it. Talked about it earlier. It is Evo weekend. It's happening right now live. We're getting towards that time of evening where you start looking at the either semifinals for some of the larger tournaments or the top 8s for the tournaments that are going to be closing tonight. And we're going to save the grand finals for the biggest tournaments. So grand finals is going to be, I'm pretty sure, for Dragon Ball and like SF5. I'm just going to pull up the schedule while I'm going here too. But
what's the big event? What is the big event? Be objective. What's the big tournament? What's the big fuck all? Oh God!
Am I have to? We're gonna give you the jar, Chris.
I might as well just even stop because I'm still throwing F-bombs every week. God.
You know what matters is you're trying.
Did I try?
You're trying. Look, hey, I want to be straight up. If we're talking about pure interest, game interest, like number of entrants,
interest and the biggest pot, the biggest jackpot.
Well, naturally, I think just for the sake of everybody who's in it, it should be the largest. Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 5 has over 2,400 people playing in it this year.
That's a lot of tournament.
Yeah, it's intense. Over 2,400. Now I say
it's
that.
It's got to start in pools. That cannot all be brackets.
No, it does start in pools. That's why the pools are so long. And actually, hey, I'm gonna take that back. There's one little number that I cross up. SF5 is big. That's no joke, and that's part of the reason why the grand finals are tomorrow, because the pools are so ridiculously long. But in my opinion, the game that's taking center stage, and I don't think it can be disputed. Dragon Ball FighterZ.
That is crazy to me.
Dragon Ball has over 2,500 entrants in it this year.
That is just what that just came out like 6 months ago? Not even 6 months
ago.
Yeah,
dude, really recent. And look, dude, here's why. Here's why. It's because Dragon Ball is doing something people never expected to do. It's taking the place of Marvel.
Make a good game? They've not been good.
Oh, yeah, that can be contested. The Budokai series, on PS2 was really popular, and like the Xenoverse series is still going pretty big. Like,
okay.
As far as one making, and I will agree, to a mainline fighting game though, if you like put them alongside competitive stuff, yeah, dude, Dragon Ball has always kind of been swept in the side. Is like, you know, you don't bring that to Evo. Don't bring that to your parents. You don't take that home. You don't let them see that.
Take that home. That's nasty.
Yeah.
You found that on the streets. Just leave it there. Yeah. Don't pick that up.
So it's always been on sort of like the side of the road. Is that like that? There's that wacky anime fighter out there, but like no one would ever take it seriously enough to be alongside Soul Calibur and Street Fighter and stuff like that. But now it is. And it's because, look, dude, I think it's all about whose hands it's in. Arc Sys is awesome at this, and they've proven it. Guilty Gear has been a franchise running since, PlayStation, especially PlayStation 2 days. Mm-hmm. It's still big now with the current Guilty Gear. They rocked out Blaze Blue. That's big. Now they got Cross Tag.
Guilty Gear being big is a relative term.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'll admit that's a stretch because it's not big. That's always had
it has its strong following.
It has a strong following. It's really dedicated. But I'd say Guilty Gear to me sort of feels like the King of Fighters community. It's not like massive, but it's there, and like the people who play it are really really into it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Dragon Ball is pulling people who just straight up like anime fighters and tag team stuff, and then it's pulling back the people who had left, who had stopped playing Marvel because they didn't see anything worthy to pursue in Ultimate. And a lot of these people who had ranked before back in MVC3, they've come back to Evo to play this because they realize, hey, well, this is the tag team game. So
with Mortal Kombat 11, I really hope they put tag back in. It wasn't in 10, and it was one of my favorite things in 9. It's the first time that Mortal Kombat had really done a tag thing. I think the trilogy game, which was the first 3 games that came out for PlayStation 1, had tag. But everybody really likes tag. I think that was one of the few disappointments for MK10 was that it did not have it. But yeah, especially in these tournaments, people love the tag stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh man, they all day, and it's such an important element, doing whether you're doing a 4-player game, 2v2 like for the whole Tekken Tag deal, which played really well in Evo's past, or if you're just doing the whole 3v3 setup like you have here. But look, it's super fun to watch. This is something that's not like just hype. I mean, after coming back from Combo Breaker and getting to see this, live, it's even more amazing. Being like, right behind the stream and stuff, and the crowd's crazy, dude. When you get to grand finals, having thousands of people all pop off at once, like when you either have character intros or something, there's nothing like it, and people are really into this. So it's. But
you said character intros. You mean player intros, right?
Character intros.
Okay, actual. Okay.
So right. I'll give you an example of one. So like Cell will he'll kick off and he'll like power up or something, right? Like before, this is like the pre-fight like cinematic stuff, okay? And like everybody has this little like short thing, but he'll like do a quick power up like a ha, but like the whole crowd will just ha like all at once. It's crazy. It's so crazy, dude. So it's got the hype behind it. It's well supported, and they have a good team that's actually done the game, and it's solid gameplay. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Because no matter how hype the franchise is, if it's not playable, if it has really crappy gameplay, it's not going to make it. Something like this. So,
yeah, well, like you said, I mean, you see that with Marvel vs. Capcom.
There you go. And bear in mind, dude, this was the sink that. This was the ship that couldn't sink.
Exactly.
And for years, MVC was the standard. It couldn't do any wrong, man, and people just expected it. Marvel's going to be the thing you play competitively. Now this. So.
It happens.
Yep.
It's
one bad game.
Did you ever get any of the DLCs for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Crisis?
No.
No, I mean it just fell off.
It did.
That's crazy.
It really did. Like I was kind of like on the fence, about him waiting. It's like, if this really it takes off big, yeah, I'll dig into that. Because eventually I did that for MVC3. Like when they came out with MVC3 Ultimate, I did that and got a few little extras and stuff like that, but not for this.
When's the last time you played it?
Yeah. A little bit after launch.
Really? It was okay. I remember you talking to you about it. I thought maybe you're trying to prop it up a little bit.
Well, I did. See, here's the thing. I had the launch play, a little bit of like the demo stuff, the pre-launch, and then played, and I was like, man, there's like a flavor missing here. I was talking to one of my good friends in Chicago, who is still okay. There's a group out there, and I'm just gonna call it #MarvelLives, because this is a thing. There's a group out there of people that still support Infinite. And I know this because I have a friend of mine who's really into the FGC who does this himself, and I talked to him and he's kind of like, no, dude, like it's still playable. It's you can still do this and that. And I said, okay. I'm like,
it's still playable. You can still stomach it.
And I'm like, all right,
playable.
Maybe I'm missing something. But look, here's what it comes down to as well, man. There's nobody in my circle is touching this one with the 10-foot pole. And when you don't have anyone in your local circle, or when you try to go to your locals to practice, if you're doing monthly gatherings and stuff, and nobody's playing it, it's just a terrible drop off. And then on top of all that, and then online is empty too. Well, that
is it really?
It's pretty empty.
Like in the last time you were playing, which was like weeks after it came out, online was already dead.
It wasn't as dead as it is now, but you're already starting to feel a drop off. People,
wow,
like pretty fast. Like, it just didn't have the same things. For example, like a Tekken or something coming out, or Street Fighter, like the sustained population that those games keep. You just didn't have that. So.
Yeah, you done messed up.
You done messed up. One day.
Capcom was supposed to have all the monies.
They were. So, we're waiting for our true, proper MVC4 sequel. So.
All right.
Whenever
in the meantime, Dragon Ball.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Dragon Ball and Street Fighter and Injustice.
Yep.
Is Injustice getting a bunch of Ninja Turtle showings?
I haven't seen people playing Turtles. And here's what's wild: the entrance for Injustice 2 is way down this year. Now Injustice was already one of the smaller tournaments. It has it was close to 900 last year, but this year is like about 360 people entered, which is down. But
I've been thinking about this, and I've been trying to figure out why NetherRealm Studios has not come out with anything for MK11.
Same.
And the reason I came to, and I'm not so sure if that's true anymore now that you're telling me that, the reason I came to, my conclusion was, Injustice is still going strong. They just put out their last patch a couple months ago. Everybody was really excited about the Ninja Turtles and everything. They're just now getting to basically their complete edition, which I think came out this year.
Right.
Maybe they're just giving this game some more time. They have tradition as far as how they've been announcing games and such, but maybe Injustice still is just making a buttload of money.
Right.
And, why would you announce, because and it's not necessarily the case, but kind of figuratively it is the case where, okay, so you're announcing this game, which means that you were at the same time announcing the irrelevance of the current game.
Right.
And I was kind of thinking maybe that's what their thinking was. And maybe that was the case, but I don't think that's the case anymore, because I think so many people were kind of expecting to be able to start looking for the next thing and watching the next thing, that even if they didn't announce it, they're still kind of in the mindset of, well, we're getting kind of done with this.
Right.
I don't know. That's kind of what I was leaning to. That was kind of my conclusion on the whole thing. At the same time, maybe that was a reason, kind of coinciding with a reason of we're just not ready to announce yet.
Pretty much. I'll tell you what. I will be really surprised as well if there's radio silence at the end of Evo, because
don't even get me going on that again.
I know. Well, I'm expecting something on Grand Finals Day. Look, some studio has something, whether it's Namco, Bandai, aka Bamco, or it's Capcom, or some kind of trailer, some kind of announcement. there is always something at Evo. Something major from someone announced. So that's another reason I like to tune in Sundays and why this is really important. But we'll see. Don't know. Mm-hmm. But I'm not counting any promises considering how many goalposts we've blown through already for this year. So never mind.
Yeah.
But
yeah. All right. Well, good on you, Battle. What is it? Dragon Ball
Fighter Z.
Good on you for taking the spot. That's awesome. Good for you.
It's a feat.
Yeah.
So, all right. Hey, I gotta ask, did you ever bother renting anything from Gamefly?
No.
I remember when that came out and those commercials were going big.
Oh, they were everywhere. It was one of those things where it's like, well, if I want to get into renting games again, then I probably would. If I wanted to just try out a bunch of games and play them, and yeah, probably. But by the time GameFly became a thing,
right.
Renting games and such kind of wasn't a thing, at least for me anymore.
Right. No, saying something I never did. I considered doing it for like disc based or just to get hold of like a physical copy, but. Man, my rental stuff really slowed down after the days of Blockbuster Video. Like Blockbuster and 16-bit and like my early PlayStation and like Nintendo 64 stuff. And then that was it. From there on, it was get a game and own it. So I sort of tapered off with that. I just really had a thing about I don't want to take it back. No, it's mine. So, anyway, that all gets around to a story here. I promise it's going somewhere. Gamefly is actually shutting down their streaming service at the end of this month. It's going to be August 31st. It's going to completely cut. It's going to cease. The disc-based portion, though, that's going to continue to go on. So if you're still doing mail rentals, stuff like that, you can still do that. Now, some context here. Now, Gamefly got acquired by EA. Oh, boy.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Earlier this year. But the company themselves, now they actually said to reporters at Variety that they decided to end the streaming service before this acquisition had even been set up, before that was taking place. So, I can't help but twitch whenever I see EA has acquired.
Did you hear what they're doing? Did you hear what EA is doing this week?
What?
I wasn't sure if we were going to have time to talk about this week or not. They're taking Colin Kaepernick out of the next Madden game.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because of all that controversy with.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Leave it to EA to do the wrong thing.
Holy.
If people don't want to play them, then they don't have to play them.
Yeah, just.
But they're just going to make them disappear instead. Why don't we make EA disappear by stop buying their games?
EA Sports. It's in the game.
It's not in the game.
No, in this case, it's not. That's terrible.
Jeez.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So let's talk about the other horrible thing there. No, I'm sure Gamefly. I mean, that's got to be declining.
Yeah,
streaming games and such. It's getting, the consoles are getting so much better at it, and
right.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad to hear they're still going to be going though, because I'm sure there are people, and I've known people, I've had friends that just like to play a game and then ditch it.
Yeah.
They don't want to spend $50-$60 on a game that they're going to play for a couple days and then be done with it. So right. Yeah.
So, and the whole thing with cloud gaming, stuff like that, as far as if you just do digital subscription stuff, I mean that's not going to stop me. I mean, I know in fact EA is trying to push its own streaming like digital service. In fact, what was it called? They had a name for it, I think, in the very article I looked up for this. It was called Origins Access Premier. It's like
is that what they're calling it?
Yeah, it's like an all-you-can-play sub-service for. That's for PC stuff. That's for Windows games. And they're going to be including stuff like the Madden, FIFA, Battlefield, and everything like that. But yep, EA's setting up for their own empire. It's sad because as much as I want to divorce EA from the conversation about this, it's hard not to, considering the moves that they're already making and the rest of the stuff that they're already setting up. So, oh well. But yeah, hey, I will always have a preference. Although I'm starting to embrace a little more in some cases. Yeah, I caved in for Sonic Mania and stuff like that, about getting my digital copy. But I prefer to have a physical copy. So.
Well, yeah, we talked about this earlier this week.
Yeah.
I would be fine with digital copies as long if like Sony did it like Steam,
right?
And I had access to all of my games,
right.
Regardless of the console,
right.
I would be fine with it. I think I'd be okay with that. But yeah, until that point, yeah, I like my physical copies.
Yeah. Fair enough, man. So.
I mean, I think that should even be to the point to where, maybe with PS5, they give you that option and you can grab your old discs and you can even put in the serial numbers and then you can access, like, I can access my PS1 games at that point.
Right.
That's how they should do it, because I've got all of them. All of them.
Woo!
Yeah, I mean, think of the options to that. Maybe some of those old developers can even revisit and patch some things, and maybe put in some player versus player or something like that online. The options are endless.
They are. No, man, there's tons you could do with that. That's why we're still waiting. I think really waiting to see who's gonna really do this right. And and jump that off. So
Sony is in the back. This is one of their biggest flaws.
It is. So, and yeah, hey, still, PlayStation has had a dominant history, and I think they should just really be careful, not trip over their own feet too much, because there've been some moments where they teetered on peril. I remember, who could forget the PS3 announcement and the $600 retail price?
Oh my God.
That just recoiled people left and right, man.
Talk about misreading your freaking demographics. That was ridiculous. And that added on to the that graphic debacle with that one game. And them trying to pass it off as actual in-game graphics. And it wasn't.
Yeah.
What game was that?
Killzone?
Killzone, yeah. Killzone 2, trying to pass it off, and I mean, I knew it wasn't, but I mean, I was like literally studying 3D graphics at the time, and high res versus low res, and understanding the power of the technology. I was like, there's no way that is in-game rendering right there. That's nope. That you have post rendering going on, and yeah,
sure enough.
Don't do that again, Sony. That was dumb.
Oh. All right.
And then give us backwards compatibility like we deserve.
Yeah. Amen. So. Hey, there was also a quick piece of news on the indie game front here. Now they have a ton of these games, and I've never played any of them myself. That's the Adult Swim series of mini games and stuff like that. Sometimes you see these, just as mobile releases and stuff like that. But there's a trailer release for, I'm going to call this Adult Swim Dark Souls Edition, even though that's not really what it's called, 'cause it reminds me of Dark Souls so much. This is for Death's Gambit, and this is going to be out soon here. In fact, in a few weeks, the 14th. But there is a quick trailer for this, and it's sort of I don't think cell shading's the term. We were talking about this a little before, and I think
it's like Flash.
Flat, yeah, the style of it.
It's from what I again was in college and working with Flash and learning Flash and doing animation and quick little games. That looks like definitely an evolved version of Flash, just with how I can tell from the animation.
Yeah. And I always like to take a peek at what's happening on the indie front every now and then, because occasionally you'll have these greats that just spring up. I think of Skullgirls, I think of Cuphead. Things like that. Yeah. And then I think about PAX each year too, because there's a specific section, a huge exhibit section dedicated to indie games, and people will come out with their demos and they'll have stuff play. There's so much. There's always something really fun to play, and usually either something from there, whether it's been featured in consecutive years or whatever else, you'll see it. It will be one of the games you've read about, or it's kind of one of the big breakout games. So, they come out of nowhere. You don't see them on your radar because They're not backed by major publishers, but it's just always something I like to keep a little eye on. So,
yeah, I remember years ago when they came out with that unicorn game. You remember that one?
For Adult Swim?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I don't
remember the name of it, but I remember that was years and years ago, and I had to beat up my raiders because they were so busy playing that unicorn game, and they weren't, they would be tabbed out of World of Warcraft, and I couldn't get their attention. They were playing that stupid unicorn game. So they've made some really good addictive ones. I think it's Adult Swim's actually won a couple of awards for some of their games. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Sweet.
So there you go. Play this one. Or don't.
Or don't. Up to you.
Or play some Dragon Ball.
Hey, I'd be down with that.
Get on the Dragon Ball train.
Zealous Midwest, hit me up. Zealous_Midwest on PSN. If you want to do Steam, let me know. I'd love to play. I got some DLC to get now that I think about it.
You actually have the Dragon Ball? I didn't think you had it.
Oh, I have it. You bet. I got it. Yeah, I played Combo Breaker too. It was a lot of fun. Whole lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, last up on the gaming side, it's looking at some new controllers coming out for the Nintendo Switch. Now, these got announced by Hori. They do fight pads, arcade sticks, and all that good stuff. In fact, they make a really good D-pad if you like the classic 6-button setup, like for fighting games and stuff like that. I think it's called like the Hori Fight Commander or whatever. But yeah, it's really,
I'm gonna look that up.
It's good. The Hori Pro Fight Commander, whatever. Yeah, check it out. But yeah, they had an announcement for some new GameCube style controllers for the Switch with special themes. These are themed after Zelda, Pikachu, some stuff from Mario, all kinds of special skins and stuff like that. They're going to come out in October, but if you're in the US or the UK or places like that, you're not going to touch these for a while because there's no plans right now to release these outside of Japan. Right now, they're going to price for about $26 each, which is good. I mean, that's, in my opinion at least, that's cheaper than what I pay for a PS4 controller. But yeah, no plans for specific releases just yet. They might not ever. I know we usually get consoles with special skins and stuff like that, or sometimes you'll have specialized controllers for certain makers. But for some people, the legacy controller is a big deal, or finding a way to port them. Now, here's what's important. I think if you play fighting games, especially if you're into Smash 4, you're really going to take an extra look at this, because if you really like the feel of the GameCube controller, you're probably going to find a way to get this and make it work. And if you just gotta have your style as well, like you want that Zelda style controller, go for it. But I think it's going to be more of a feel issue. I know there's some people who swear by the old PlayStation 2 Sega Saturn controller. In fact, that is a sought after D-pad today, because it's known as one of like the holy grails of directional pads, and it's hundreds of bucks. You can go check that thing out on eBay if you want to get like a true version. But there are some people out there, pad players, who will do their fighting games with the controller converter, who will like only use like 6-button setups, or like they have a very specific controller that they want to use. That's what I see for this kind of thing. Oh well. Meh.
I thought we were past the days where you couldn't, where something was region locked.
Yeah.
I thought that was done.
Touch and go.
Whatever. Get your stuff together.
Well, I'm gonna get my stuff together because I'm going in Info Minute.
I've noticed this week I'm just kind of a naggy little bitch.
No, I don't know, man. I'm
just like making comments like, you suck. Get your shit together. Whatever.
Uncle Chris is mad.
Yeah, well, I'm not though. I'm just, a lot of people doing stupid stuff.
Yeah, he's like, stop it. Quit
being so stupid.
It's funny. This is probably going to get on your nerve too.
Oh,
now, I couldn't help but chuckle looking at this, and for some context, this isn't actually something that happened this week, or even during late July. This was something near the end of June that I kind of missed, but it was in Canada, over in BC. But it just made a funny highlight because I instantly thought of the hype that surrounds the products we buy, especially when it comes to like health. Like, a lot of people have gone on like health food crazes, weight loss crazes, things like that. You see this stuff ad infinitum. But there's an artist in Canada who decided to seize on that because he was, frankly, apparently bothered about it's ridiculous what people seize onto. So he looked and he saw this idea and said, based off the way people consume, I bet if I market and brand this a certain way, I could sell it. And that by that hot dog water. So he creates his own brand. He creates his own bottling style and everything like that. And literally, he places hot dogs in like glass style bottles and goes to sell them. So how do you do? Well, he sold these at about $38 each. He sold 60 liters of this stuff when he took his whole gig to some kind of like art performance fair. He set up a booth. This is again in Vancouver, and over the course of the festival, that attributes to a little over $2,000, about $2,200. He pulled off that. Ridiculous. And then he started to add some stuff, like the hot dog perfume, and think, look, man, this is ridiculous. Like, when we talk about this stuff, like people want to like drop cash and they think you spend on, like, dude, hot dog water just sounds nasty. You could not pay me to drink that. That's disgusting.
You see, now why would you think that this would bother me?
Because of how goofy it is.
I love this. This is an exercise in marketing and in just people's stupidity. So dude took nasty ass hot dog water and sold it. He talked it up, he worked it up, he marketed the shit out of it and made $22,000 and then started a perfume line.
He started some little extras and stuff off it, and then he kind of dropped the project, but he's saying he did this as a thing of, to just really push, look at what we do. Look at what people buy, which is the fun part about this. And the way he played it up, this is what I love. He seized on tying to that angle of health. Like, he had it'll help you lose weight, and a few other other things. Like, and people bought it, hook, line, and sinker.
Hot dog water is never hot dogs. Not to mention, hot dog water has never helped anybody do anything with their weight, except for gain it. That's awesome. I love this guy.
Yeah, slick packaging, man. Newest thing.
This is ketchup popsicle to the woman in white gloves right here.
Ketchup popsicle.
I love stuff like that. I work in sales most of the time, so bravo. Bravo and kudos to you, sir. And at the same time, he did it all in jest. He did it all in satire.
Yep.
But it's like, look at what I can make people do. This guy's my hero. Yeah. He's the hero of the week.
Take the prize.
Yeah.
Love it.
We have all kinds of examples of this right now this week. You got people playing a Dragon Ball game. And guys selling hot dog water.
Feeling that Dragon Ball salt, that hate.
I think the cartoons are ridiculous. Something, that's, getting back to that real quick, I guess, no, it can happen. You get the right developer behind the game, and am I surprised it's as big as it is? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I heard early on that the game was really tight. So
yeah.
And I don't mean tight as in like, hey, the game's tight, as in a fighting game. It's important that the game plays very
exactly
tight. So, sure. To all of it.
Yeah, you're like, sure, rock that all day.
Except for what Jorge's doing. That's dumb.
Yeah.
And their controllers don't look very good.
I guess.
I looked them up. They don't look very good.
I don't know. You sure you don't want that Pikachu edition for when you start playing Demon X Machina?
No.
Yeah, all right.
No interest.
All right.
None. No.
All Alrighty, people. Hey, that is going to do it for us this week. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to drop back by. Check out our most recent reviews and things that are coming out. We're in a little bit of a lull right now, but we've got...
fine.
It's fun.
That's
it's fine.
It's fine.
We need it. We need it, frankly. We just had a Mission Impossible 6, the other things like that posted up on our channel. I am going to go get a few snacks and put myself into an Evo-induced coma for the rest of the weekend. You know where I'll be at? Other than that, we will catch you guys again. Stay tuned and take it easy.
Hey, like and subscribe and stuff.
Please, so we can do more of this. And keep doing this. Put more time into this.
That's right.
All right, peace, people.
Okay.
Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, there anything we go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but if great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksawmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, pick up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.